Hello everybody and welcome to another video here on Tim's Tech Corner. Today we're going to take a look at the beast, the slate, the slab, the heaviest 10-inch tablet I've ever come across. Wham! The Viewsonic G-Tab. This is a 10-inch tablet that works pretty good in the horizontal orientation. This was initially a gingerbread tablet. I rooted it and took it up to ice cream sandwich, and then around the new year took it up to a JellyBean ROM. This thing is the heaviest 10-inch tablet that I've ever worked with. In several states it's classified as a lethal weapon, because you could hit somebody in the back of the head with this thing and probably kill them. Will do more damage to the person's skull than this tablet, especially if you hit him with the back of the tablet. This thing is heavy, it's solid, it is dense. And let's jump right into a couple things. Over here on the right side, which is a slight oddity for several tablets that you see now. Let's see if we can get a good angle here to see. It's a little hard to see, but there are hardware buttons on this thing. Gingerbread style hardware buttons with search. Home, holding down home brings up the recently used apps, menu, and back. We have Button Savior, which is a piece of software that emulates some more modern status bar buttons like back, the recently used apps list, home, and power. And if you hit the menu button, it switches to some phone ones like all apps, camera, the phone, and volume plus and minus, and back again. So that is Button Savior. And it's still kind of hard to pick it up the way the light's coming in, but here we go. Over here on the top, you have volume minus and volume plus. You have nothing on the right side. On the left side, you have a nice little panel with power on top, and then you have a panel with an SD slot. And yes, this is a full USB size slot over here. Up to this little camera, but more about that in a little bit. See that little flap? That's permanently attached. You just rotate it up, covered the hole. You have the mid-size USB port over here. Down at the bottom, you have headphone and power. At the very bottom of the device, under here, you have an HDMI port and microphone. Odd spot for a microphone jack being down at the bottom. Seems a little strange if you ask me, but okay. So here we go. Here is the full size of the tablet. This thing is heavy as hell. So let's jump right into this little oddity over here. The full size USB tablet. Now, JellyBean and ice cream sandwich ROMs have a problem with this particular device in that this top camera up here will not work. The onboard camera does not work. So what we have to do is we use an external camera. So I'll show you that right over here. Ta-da! That's not a window, that's the tablet. Because of this external USB camera. You see, if you look, I'm moving the camera over here. That's a way to get around the fact that the onboard camera doesn't work. So, what's kind of nice is you're also going to increase the quality of it. Because this is a full-blown non-tablet, non-camera camera. It's a USB one, just like you'd get for a desktop or laptop. So what that does is it makes this tablet really good to be a nice little Skype tablet. There are certain niches that this tablet is going to be really good for, and there's ones where it's going to be really poor. Let's go ahead and go to most recently used apps. And let's go over to settings. I'll show you a little bit about this tablet. Obviously, standard Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage, launcher, lock screen, theme system, typical device. And about the tablet over here. It's the Mulata Simba, JellyBean 4.11. It's a ARM v7 processor. This is a Tegra 2 generation device. This is a Team Dirty Reset Holo ROM, Black JellyBean. Build date, August 23. Now, this used to be my kitchen tablet. That was the little niche that this thing had, and it got replaced with a Sony Tablet S. So this thing has been dormant for a while. There may be a more upgraded JellyBean out there. And this thing's actually going to go up for sale on eBay. Just not really keen on keeping the device anymore. It sort of had a role as my kitchen tablet. And it's now going to have the role of for sale on eBay. Which is why I'm doing this video. So, what is this tablet good for? Well, it's a Tegra 2 device. It's fairly well known in the Viewsonic community as being a good media tablet. A lot of people like this thing and get the dock for it and treat it as like a Netflix to the TV, Hulu to the TV type tablet. That may be all well and good. I find this tablet a little on the pokey side. Occasionally, this thing just goes out for lunch. This tablet is a cat. It does what it wants. It runs around and does things for a little while and then just stops. I don't really understand this tablet. Sometimes you just have to hold the power button down over there, turn it off, and hold it to reset it. And it's sort of hit and miss as to whether or not you're going to have a good session or a bad session with it. It actually seems to be rolling pretty good now. You can probably get a little bit more consistency out of it if you go to a static wallpaper rather than a dynamic. But here are some apps that I've got installed. There's Button Savior, which controlled the little thing we did on the side earlier. There is the JellyBean camera, and there is Camera MX. Droid Iris is basically a wallpaper application. They removed Bing from the API, so it can't get things there. It can do it in a couple other spots. Google Settings is fairly new. There's Goo Manager, Holo Reboot, which gives you a software button to allow you to get into rebooting and recovery, which is kind of nice. A few other random apps over here, nothing particularly crazy. We've got Super Sue. Ultimate Custom Widgets is really cool. I really like that app. Some XDA ones, and a game called Zombie Shot. So, what is this tablet good for? I think this tablet is good as a basically a news giver, some kind of an image display. I find this thing is really best if it's kept somewhere where it's really visible and can maybe display something like the weather and the time. If you're watching some stocks, maybe a stock app, or maybe a weather app. It's probably a really good kitchen tablet. Maybe get some recipes on your main computer, throw them on Evernote, pull up Evernote here, and view them. This has played some games fairly well. I was playing that Zombie Shot game under Ice Cream Sandwich, and it did seem to handle it well. Haven't really done much with the tablet since I took it up to JellyBean. Wanted to increase the sellability of it by bringing it up to a more modern ROM. It's not 4.2, but I am going to check before I get rid of this and see what's the highest ROM out there. It's running the Holo Launcher. You can see some launcher settings over here. Typical Holo Launcher HD settings. Sometimes when you first boot the tablet up, the notification up here won't be available, but if you finger it just once to bring it down and then bring it back up, you'll get it. It is running the what's called the inverted apps, the inverted Play Store. So the Google apps will be this darker color that you see over here. So there you go. This is the inverted Google Store as compared to the normal color one. You notice that everything is dark instead of light. So we'll go ahead and back out of this. Now I'll show you the performance of the tablet. As you can see here, as I'm going through the screens, it's fairly responsive. It responds to each swipe pretty quick. It changes the pages and the drawers fairly well. Now we're over here onto widgets, and it's going pretty well. Let's see if we can get... Alright, let's add a widget to the home screen. Let's see how quickly this works. And alright, we'll move it right down here. And we'll see how quickly this responds. So we've dropped the widget over here. Yes. Okay, there you go. So that took a little bit. It's not super bad, but it took a little bit to do that. But as you can see here now, I'm trying to swipe, and there we go. Now it's going. But it was out to lunch for a few seconds there, and now you can see it's being a little slow, but it kicks in. So that's what I mean about this tablet. It's just odd. Now, initially it was gingerbread. It had its own Viewsonic skin, where it had like the time up here and I think some news and some weather. You could probably take it back down to gingerbread and get all of its performance and responsiveness back. It does seem a little bit better under JB as compared to ICS, so I would stick with that rather than going down to ICS. And it's not bad. This would probably be good as like a family room tablet. This might be good for children ages 6 to 10, maybe 12, because this thing is, I mean, it's a beast. Let me unplug the camera here and I'll show you the back to it. This thing is just, it stands up to a great deal of punishment because it's so dense and so heavy. So we'll take that flap. Notice here you just rotate the flap up, tap it in, and we'll take a look at the back of this thing. Here we go. Back's in relatively good shape. You can see with a little bit of scraping and everything, you'll probably get this white over here, a little banged up. But other than that, this tablet's in pretty good shape. It has some typical age over here. The screen is in really good shape though. But this tablet is heavy and it's really solid feel. I wouldn't really consider this a portable tablet. It might be okay if you were, say, a college student or somebody in school with a backpack and you can slip it in there, but this is not the take the tablet to Starbucks one. This is not take the tablet to the beach and read a book one. This thing has got a little bit of weight to it. But while it's not good in that niche, it is good in the sense that it could probably take a bit of a pounding. So it might be good for given to some younger kids. Like if you've got an iPad yourself or a really nice Android tablet, and you don't want them playing around with it, but you don't really want to get them that like Fisher Price My First Tablet Navi one that has like bowling bumpers on it. This is a good tablet for that. And you can see the inverted scheme is going on up here, even with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is, you can see, is kind of whitish, and the battery icon is hollow as compared to the normal way. That's because of the theme that it's running over here, with it running the inverted. And let's see if I have any other themes installed over here. Yeah, it's running SSD blue. You could probably pick system and get it more back to normal, or any of these others. I actually have it running SSD blue right now. But the notification bar is up top on this one, sort of like a phone compared to a tablet. And here's a nice little battery widget that shows you the temperature of it and how long it'll take to drain at the current level. And it's got some toggles. And we have the Android Task Manager, so we'll pull that up. And there's the wallpaper, super keyboard, themes provider, because we just had that open, so we'll end that. We'll end the theme chooser. So there's not a lot of extra running over here. And 102 megs of available memory, so it's not too bad. And as you can see here now, it's actually running pretty responsive. So the tablet is just, it's like a cat. It does what it wants. It's fast sometimes, it's pokey other times. So here is the Mulata Simba with the SMBA, the Viewsonic G-Tab 10-inch, and probably be offloading this soon. So, hope you enjoyed this video, this little tour of this JellyBean ROM on this device. And stay tuned for maybe another idea tab. I've got a new idea tab coming in, so I'll be probably doing a video on that after I get it rooted. Take care, everybody.